how do you hope people will watch and enjoy this movie? What's your go-to perfect Halloween movie night? What do you do?
Oh wow! I hope they watch it with a bunch of people. I mean, it's a super fun movie that we showed to audiences, and they loved watching it together. They were laughing, they were jumping, they were just having a great time. So I think it's the kind of thing that will make a lot of people in your household happy. So parents can watch it with their kids, groups of kids can watch it together. You know, it's a great date night movie too. If you guys are, if a couple is feeling like they want something Halloween themed, but they don't want anything too crazy intense, it's just a good time.
Do you like get some candies, like some pumpkin spice candles, stuff like that?
I don't quite go out for the pumpkin spice candles. I'm probably more of like
It is a thing.
popcorn, yeah, popcorn, and turn all the lights off. Like I like a very dark room, and then I end up turning all the lights on in the rest of the house once I'm a little bit scared of what I'm watching.
Yeah, when it's time to go to bed, that's when
Yeah,
you're like, why did I watch this?
yes, yes, yes. Let's turn all the lights on.
Exactly. The Walking Dead theme garden, I absolutely loved it. What's your garden like?
I have tons of props and things from different movies I've worked on, and they end up sometimes outside and in around my yard. I've got a life-size shadow man from Are You Afraid of the Dark? I've got,
Oh, so
monster
cool.
masks from Fantasy Island, and I actually have the green doors from Fantasy Island are out in my yard right now. So yeah, I would say, not to sound like I love my own movies, but basically props and things from my own movies usually end up in the yard.
Did you keep a prop from the Curse of Bridge Hollow?
No, if Netflix is listening, they wouldn't let me. I tried and they made me send everything back.
Really? What did
I
you
hope
try
you
to keep?
guys are listening. It's the first movie I've ever worked on where I didn't get to keep a single prop, even though we made all these really cool things and costumes. And I put in a formal request and like, no, it has to go into lockup until the movie comes out. So I'm optimistic when the movie comes out. Maybe I'll get the Stingy Jack's lantern or something like that. It's literally, I have a prop from every play in every movie. Every play I was in as a little kid, and every movie I've made, including all my short films, including in my student films. And this is the first one I don't have a single thing.
What would you like to have?
I would love Stingy Jack's turnip lantern. I would
Yeah.
love that. Jim Henson, the Jim Henson Company made a lot of our monsters. They made the bat. They actually designed the turnip. They designed our spiders. I would love to get one of the bats. That would be very cool too. I mean, there's so many great things were made for this movie. We interviewed four different. Actually, I'm not. We interviewed a lot more than that, but we hired four different creature effects houses to work on the film because there were just so many monsters that needed to be made.
What are the Halloween movies that you watched growing up, but that you still watch now, that made you want to do The Curse of Bridge Hollow?
Well, the Curse of Bridge Hollow is really inspired by Amblin films from the 80s and 90s. So movies like Gremlins and Goonies and E.T. These films really inspired Bridge Hollow. Honestly, a little bit of Men in Black too, which is more DreamWorks, I guess, technically than Amblin, but Steven Spielberg's fingerprints are on
Mhm.
that one. So that's what I was trying to do is kind of recapture the mystery and magic and wish fulfillment of those movies from the 80s and 90s that always took place in a small
Mhm.
town, and something a little bit scary, but ultimately very exciting would happen to a group of people, usually a group of people kind of trying to work out some family dynamic.
It's funny she said that because I was reading something online and someone said, under the trailer of the Curse of Bridge Hollow, someone said there is something timeless in these old school haunted mansion kid Halloween movies. Is that why you wanted to do it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it's timeless because we can all enjoy them. They're not just for kids. It's really a four quadrant movie. It's not a kids movie. And that's what we were going for. I mean, it actually gets pretty intense in places. There's some real scares, some real action, some real stakes. Uh, and, and I think you can enjoy the movie no matter your age. And I think ultimately that makes the movie feel timeless because it's multi-generational.
And I loved how you put so many Easter eggs and tributes to different movies and pop culture. There's the Nightmare on Elm Street. You've got Hamilton, Cruella. How fun was that for you to put that, to incorporate that in this movie for everyone to be like, oh, I know that reference. I got that difference.
Yeah, because Halloween really gives you permission to do that, because when people celebrate Halloween, they often are embracing characters and images and monsters from pop culture. And so
Yeah.
when you're making a Halloween movie, actually one of the biggest challenges when you're making a Halloween movie is how to do that and get the lawyers to let you do it, because all those images and characters are copyrighted, so you can't put them in another movie. So navigating that was very tricky, but I think we pulled it off, and it feels like an authentic Halloween movie because we are making all those references.
And the cast is so cool, so great. You've got Kelly Rowland, Marlon Wayans, so many great comedians. How did the casting process go for you?
Honestly, it was really easy because Marlon is a producer on the film, so he was attached even before I got involved.
Mm-hmm.
And people love Marlon and they want to work with him. So, when it came to actors like Kelly and Rob Riggle and Lauren Lapkus and John Michael Higgins, they all were down to come and play with Marlon. And then they read the script and they saw that, Marlon was going to be doing something a little bit different. And I would talk to them about their character, and everyone was just on board. I'd worked with Rob Riggle before, so I really loved him. And I think he was excited to get back on set with me. But everybody just had the right attitude. And then honestly, it all started with Marlon.
Did you put, because obviously Halloween decors become alive in this movie, did you put any of your worst fear in this movie? Since Sydney hate clowns, what's like the last Halloween decoration you would like to see alive right now in your house?
Spiders are definitely something that I'm not a fan of, and so that the spider sequence was a lot of fun. That was really my homage to aliens and that kind of subgenre of creepy crawlies and these like sort of animalistic monsters getting in your house and getting all over you. And so I would say the movie taps into my fear of spiders for sure.
For me, it was the clowns, and you put a
Yes.
bunch of, yeah. So thank you.
Well, that was the fun of this movie. We had all these references to these things you've seen before: clowns, zombies, spiders, a bat. The fun of the movie was trying to figure out, well, what's my version of those monsters? What am I going to do that's going to make these stand out? And the clowns, I was particularly excited about, kind of offering my take. And even at one point, one of the producers was saying to me, well, these don't really look like clowns. And I was like, trust me, when it's done, they're going to look like clowns and they're going to be terrifying.
And you've directed, produced a good number of horror, scary movies, of course, series from Bates Motel to Truth or Dare. How is this one different? What made you want to shift to a more family-friendly movie?
I've actually worked in so many different genres. I've done comedies, I've done action movies, I've done thrillers, and I just like working in all sorts of different spaces. In fact, the thing I like to do the most is to mash genres up. And I was sent this script, and one of the things I responded to about it was that it was a big genre mashup. It's not just a scary movie. It's not just a comedy. It's not just a family movie about a father and daughter dealing with a conflict. It's all of those movies combined into one. And so I think ultimately that's why I got the job, is that I can work in all those different genres and I understand them and I love them.
So should we expect a sequel for Christmas? Like the kids, they say at the end of the movie, let's wait and see what they do for Christmas. And then you've got the big finale. They discover this new part of the house. What's next?
Ultimately that's up to you in the audience. If enough people watch the movie and it's beloved, as I hope it will be, because we certainly loved making it, there's lots of potential to tell more stories in Bridge Hollow.
So before we go, any Halloween costume idea you've already got planned for this year?
Well, I kind of overdosed on Halloween this past year. I'm not going to lie. While everyone spends a week or two living Halloween, I've lived it for the last 14 months. So I will be honest, I have not put a lot of thought into this year's Halloween costume because I've put so much thought into my Halloween movie. So I think probably in the next week or so, I'll start thinking about it. But listen, I love the holiday, and hopefully everyone can feel that when they see the movie.
That's not the Hollow Bridge spirit, though. You wouldn't say, don't get ready for Halloween now.
I know. I got to get on the ball. I got to get on the ball.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Jeff, for joining me today.
Outstanding. Thank you so much.